Yep, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, this meeting is being recorded by the Appointments and Ordinances Committee. If any other person present is doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. In accordance with MGL 30A SS 20G, no person shall address a meeting of a public body without permission of the chair, and all persons shall, at the request of the chair, be silent. No person shall disrupt the proceedings of a meeting of a public body if, after clear warning from the chair, a person continues to disrupt the proceedings. The chair may order the person to be withdrawn from the meeting, and if the person does not withdraw, the chair may authorize a constable or other officer to remove the person from the meeting. So roll call. I have Counselor Golub.
Here. Hi.
Counselor Gilmore is absent. Counselor Healy is absent. Counselor Ricketts.
Present?
And we also have Counselor Forgy in attendance.
I'm here.
Thank you. So we need to accept the minutes from last month's meeting.
Okay, so moved. Ricketts?
Second.
Okay. And then we have appointments. I think we just have, we have 2 appointments. There's no public hearings. And we have 2 appointments on the agenda. So
Yep.
the city council.
Mary Ann, you have a second on your minutes.
Right.
Then you
Yeah.
have to say all in
She
favor.
did. Kath.
Oh, sorry. All in favor. I didn't all in favor it.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Aye.
okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, I've got to use my phone so I can follow along.
So the city council moved that it be ordered that the Greenfield City Council pursuant to Charter Section 2-10 affirms the following appointments by the mayor to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Victor Moschella, term to expire June 30th, 2025, and Mark Maloney, term to expire December 31st, 2025.
I second Ricketts.
Is there any discussion about these 2 appointments?
I don't know the first one, but I do know the second one, Mark Maloney. He used to sit on the planning board. He used to sit on the city council, and he works right now for the FERCog. So, excellent. And like the mayor said in her email, we can't do zoning without a Mark Maloney because the other Mark Maloney passed, so this is perfect.
Yep.
Great. So all in favor of these 2 appointments?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Great. So the last thing we had, which I'm not going to bring this to full discuss, we're not going to have a full discussion on this tonight because I really want Counselor Healy to be here. Oh, wait, we have Ginny in the waiting room.
Yep.
Okay, Ginny's coming in. I really want Counselor Healy and Gilmore to be able to discuss this before we do anything formally on it.
Okay.
But Counselor Forgy, do you want to just give a quick overview to folks? And then what I would ask is that just before the next meeting, people review the changes. And we can have a full discussion with the other 2 counselors who are absent tonight next month.
Yes. Basically, this language comes as a result of charter changes that were worked on by the charter committee. The most important language piece in all of this, because some of this language has already gone to Boston for approval, but the most important piece of it is the one where we're trying to figure out how we can put policy and procedure in place so that the Public Safety Committee knows, or commission knows what should happen and what should be done in regard to a citizen complaint coming forward. It seemed that in the past, the interpretation was often left to the chair, and oftentimes the chair felt that it was not within the committee's or the commission's purview to go ahead and cause an investigation or participate in an investigation. However, the way I've kind of structured things at this point, it is really an opportunity for us to put some language in place that will allow the Public Safety Commission to proceed in regard to investigation of citizen complaints. So that's all the language is at this point. I'm not vested, in it the way it is right now. If other people discuss it and they want to make changes to it, that's fine, but I think that it's a good starting place.
Thank you for your time, Councilor Forgy. I remember being in other charter meetings and you were passionate about this. So I agree with Councilor Bullock that once the rest of the committee looks at this, then it'll be a great time to really, just figure out where it is we want to land. But yeah, you've done a lot of work on it, and I don't see that much that really needs to be changed, but let's see what happens when everybody's in attendance.
Yeah, and I'm also going to forward this on to the public safety commissioners just to see if we can sort of get their blessing ahead of time.
That's,
Very
yep,
good.
We have someone else joining us. Hold on here.
okay, yep.
So I'll forward this on to the other public safety commissioners to make sure, just to see, can we get agreement? Is there places that they have ideas that could be plugged in here? And we can go from there.
Okay, and and if one or two of them do have some ideas, I'm okay with if they would like to attend.
Yeah, oh,
while
yeah.
we work this out. And it'll be good to be collaborative for a change.
I would love
So
that.
nothing is reactive later on. I just want the council to get into that position on everything, actually.
Yeah.
If we can do more collaboration, then it's just helpful.
I will invite them to the next ANO meeting to discuss this with us, actually.
Great.
And I will make sure, I'm not sure that everyone got the edits because there was a new
Okay.
edit. So I'll make sure those edits go out.
Okay, that's great.
Any other discussion on this before we move to
Yeah.
new business? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say ditto to all of that. Everything that's been said so far, I agree with. And so thank you, Councilor Forgy, for the time that you've put into this. Really grateful. The one concern or question that I had was item C about compensation. I am actually a big fan of compensation for people who serve on public commissions and committees, and I think that it should be fair. And so I don't know that I would support paying the commissioners until or unless planning is paid, or the disability
Mhm.
commission is paid, or the other boards. And I think that's not yet a question that I'm bringing up, because I don't know that we have the funds for those things, but
Okay.
I strongly feel that this should be fair. So, yeah.
He wants to speak.
Go for it, Councilor Forgy.
Thank you. Just so you know, like that is a draft, and it was decided, there was decided that by the full committee that there would not be any compensation that would be offered to this committee for just what the reasons you just spoke about. So yeah, excuse me, charter changes have already gone to Boston and they're waiting approval. The piece in that paperwork that's significant is how do we want to put into ordinance the investigative powers for citizen complaints? And that's really the piece that we're after and we want to tackle at this point.
Right.
So yeah, I'll just ask if there's changes, language to like add, strengthen, take away from this, definitely let's bring them to next month's meeting and hopefully we'll have a full attendance and we can discuss it with other counselors at the table.
Great.
Great.
One other, this is not as strong as a suggestion or a request, just an idea that it could be helpful to distinguish between what's gone to the state as charter changes and what's currently under discussion, just so that counselors are focused on what we're, and maybe that's already in there.
For this particular piece?
Yeah, for this particular piece. And if that's an easy thing to do, I just don't want people debating what you've already sent forward, Councillor Forgy, and that could be helpful to see.
Yeah, I can ask Kathy to send out the original that went to the state and then the newly amended. Well, the newly amended should be in your packets for tonight.
Right, and I think the one that went to the state, I think it's on the website, but we can look for it.
Yeah, we can forward it.
Okay, so everything that's in red here, that's what I was focusing on, but if I need to focus on something else to be helpful in getting these changes passed,
everything in red is your changes, right, Councillor Forgy?
Yes, that was what I proposed to the charter committee.
Yeah.
The piece that what I sent, that is a draft of what the charter committee sent. It became clear that we had to get the charter in by a certain time period, and there was not consensus on what a citizen review board would look like. So it's really that particular time, we decided that we would take it and put it into an ordinance rather than put it into charter language, so that ordinance language could be changed, charter language, not so much all the time. So we're looking to make an ordinance that will supplement it. And the only piece that really needs the ordinance is the citizens review. And then in the red that you're talking about, there is also, these are my thoughts, that if the committee does go to 7, then it's an organizational strategy. Again, public safety doesn't necessarily have to do it, but it might be nice for them to weigh in on it. If there's 7 people, 2 for police, 2 for fire, 2 for EMS and dispatch, and the chair. So that would be your areas of expertise. And you would, that'd be your assignment. You'd be asked to, not that you don't want to know whatever, everything else that's going on, but it would be your assignment to be up to date on the fire department, for instance, as an example, and report back out to the rest of the committee. So, just be a liaison officer or committee member to a particular department. So that was a draft of assignments and organizational stuff, as well as the language for the ordinance change.
Thank you.
Great. Any other discussion on this one?
No.
Okay. Any new business?
Nope.
Any old business?
Well, I'm not sure if this is the time to bring it up, but I've been tracking, well, as of a week ago, so I haven't been closely tracking, but I've been thinking about the exceptions to the open meeting law on the state level. And I know that the last I heard about that, I believe that one of the 2 chambers, I don't want to speak out of turn, one of the 2 chambers had passed something and was waiting to extend the exceptions for 2 years to make, that would allow us to continue to have remote subcommittee meetings. And they were waiting for the other chamber to agree, or Governor Healy can move to extend the exceptions, and because I believe they expire March 31st. So I know that I feel strongly for accessibility issues. that we be able to continue to have remote subcommittee meetings. And so I'm paying attention to that and waiting to bring forward something or to support someone else bringing another counselor bringing forward, but I've been tracking this. My hope is that we can just move next month to have the council rules comply with new exceptions that are passed. It could be more complicated than that, depending on what happens at the state level, but it's something I feel strongly about, and we'll keep folks informed.
Yeah, I agree. I just personally, like, I think for A&O, I would love to keep this subcommittee remote unless there's like a hot button issue that is brought up. And then of course we'd have an in-person meeting for that, but it doesn't seem like there's a need for us for like 20-minute meetings sometimes to come downtown
It
and.
takes me that long to walk here
Right.
and walk back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am gonna talk to the president about changing at least this subcommittee. And I mean, I've just been thinking of folks on Ways and Means as you guys get into Ways and Means. So I'm happy to bring this to council floor as new discussion that was talked about in this meeting, but I'll also give the president and now the vice president has a heads up that I'm gonna request.
So just send that to the clerk's office and the president and the vice president tomorrow. Because then it will be plenty of time for the 5-day rule.
Okay.
Because that's another thing that I think that council does poorly is bringing things up at the last minute, no matter where they're at, whatever meeting. And it's like, we have a 5-day rule for a reason. So if you let them know now, then you can talk about it at chairs.
Great.
Because if it comes up like at the end of a council meeting, especially if it's already long, you know that's not going to be a quick discussion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do it at chairs. You guys are the executive and you could just make the decision.
Great.
Agreed. Plus, we may not be able to bring it to committee chairs this month if the governor makes this decision at the very last minute. It could
Yeah.
be March 31st, unfortunately. So I don't know if that means that we wait until May or what we decide to do, but so unhappy timing. And I also want to thank both of you for showing up in person. I didn't realize that, and I take responsibility for that. I was assuming remote, and I shared with Marianne, I just honestly, I could have run in, but I wouldn't have been able to eat dinner. And I'm trying very hard I know that I have many Ways and Means meetings coming up and trying to hold some boundaries about that. But I just am very, very grateful to you both for being there. And I want us to figure this out. So thank you both for being there.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thanks, Penny, for joining me and for offering to open the meeting for me if I wasn't going to be here.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay, any old business?
Nope.
Our next meeting will be April 12th, 2023 at 5:30. Currently City Hall meeting room, second floor, or Zoom hybrid unless otherwise posted. And anyone move to adjourn
So move, Ricketts.
this meeting? Thank you.
Second.
Meeting adjourned at 5:48 PM.
We're all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Voting is the thing I forget, apparently.
That's just strong woman stuff.
Yeah.
We're done.
We figured it out. All
Yes.
right, I hope you all have a good night.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Good night. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.